My name is Farmer Phil, and today we are out on the road beating the ban. And I suppose for those of you that don't know what I mean by beating the ban, in Ireland there is a slurry ban, and after the 15th, or from the 15th of October to the 15th of January, we cannot spread slurry. And then it comes a bit complicated in the different parts of Ireland. You can spread it different dates, and we won't go through that at the minute, but yeah, just for those that aren't in Ireland, we can't spread slurry after the 15th, from the 15th of October, so the pressure is on to get everybody's slurry out before the deadline. A few more days to go before the deadline. We've just finished one job there, rolled up the pipes from last night. We're baiting on to the next job. We have a drive ahead of us to get to the next job. However, roughly 100,000 gallons to take out of a store for the next farmer on paddocks, and I don't know whether we're splashing or dribbling. We'll find out more when we get there. If we're dribbling, we have to do a little job on the pipes on the umbilical system. Got caught in the hedge getting in a gap and then pulled a lock of pipes off, so we'll have to straighten that out. But yeah, we're beating the ban. We are flat stick. So we're just in the farm now, laying off piping, and we're supposed to dribble slurry about 3,000 gallons to the acre. So we have to put back on our pipe, so we'll be doing that next. So we just get out into the field we're going, and then we'll unfold and pop on. There's quite a few pipes got pulled off, could be 6 pipes there to be put back on. Anyways, we'll get this pipe down. A nice straightforward run, 1, 2, 3 paddocks and 1 big silage field, so it's gonna be a straightforward run. We've had, I reckon, about 5 hours. We'll pump out the 100,000 gallons. So yeah, it's a straightforward run. That's 5 hours pumping now, but there'll be an hour or 2 hours spent laying pipe, and it's all straightforward, one line, no rejigging or none of that whole crack. So handy now. Anyways, we get this pipe down and we go put back on all these droppers. Yeah, let me up there. Okay, but right, so something you may notice on the phone, not the most ideal way of doing the job, as we forgot the walkie-talkies this morning. Fun, but anyways, it's not too bad. These are all 3 paddocks, 1 silage field. It's all big, it's straightforward. Shouldn't be any too major issues. Shouldn't be, anyways. So give them the shout out to light me up. We have 200 and about 100 meters down, so we're about 500 meters from the store. And we want to push this lever. Opens my lollipop for the dribble bars. You see, we just put on them the yokies there. So now it's just wait. I have my pipes changed on the side of the dribble bar there, so the macerator is now plugged in. So once I get some slurry, we'll start use this to turn the macerator. We'll start dribbling. So yeah, and that's really it. The rest of the day I spent just going up and down, and then rejigging, relaying and whatnot, piping when we're laying. So we are currently spreading just after getting it. Coming out there, something you'll probably see, and you might be able to see there, it's not spreading very evenly. There's 2 reasons for that. One is our macerator needs all its wear plates changed, which is something we'll be doing in the off season, so we just don't have time to get done now. And the other is, it's been, with the last couple of jobs we've done, we've splashed, and as you can see, some of the droppers aren't letting out there, and that's probably because there's a bit of slurry that was in them, has gone hard, and eventually it should come out and clear out and get going itself. But yeah, it's just a little bit annoying that it's not just doing the nicest of a job I'd like to see it being doing, but there's not much we can do about it, because it's a big enough job now. All them pipes off, take apart the 2 sides, pull it apart, 2 new blades, new wear plates, new springs, all back together. It's a good few hours work. As it stands, the whole outfit, the dribble bar that needs a good bit of doing over. So we have the macerator to get done on it. We also have a lot of pipes we want to get replaced on it. So some of the pipes on the corners there where they're bent, some of them are getting a bit flattened, and we just want to replace a lot of pipes. So we've replaced a lot of the down pipes as well, the droppers as I call them, that have gone. So yeah, we've a little bit of work to do with it to get that right. Also then the tractor itself was gave us awful trouble yesterday. It's been giving trouble in a while. The hydraulic pressure switch for the back end keeps flagging, even though we're not losing pressure. There's either a faulty sensor or a faulty wire, and it causes the tractor to go into limp home mode, which puts it into D in the gearbox, and you can't go up or down in the dyno shift, and it's a bloody nuisance. But it ended up going into the low box on us yesterday, and we could not get it out of the low box. Oh, we tried we could not get out of the low box. So we ended up having to power the high-low from the wire. The power's on my switches here, the power's on my lights on the dribble bar, all them lights. We had to take that wire and then put it down to the solenoid for the high-low to get that thing gauged. We could get out of the low box. That also now means the Hive no rear lights, no lights on the dribble bar except for the tail lights, which yeah isn't exactly great, and there's nothing we can really do about it at the minute. So if it does get dark on me, I have lots of lights in front of me, but I'll have no lights behind me. So yeah, just about keeping the show on the road at the minute. As you can see, quite a bit of dirt on the windows as well. That's because we're splashing. When you're splashing, it always throws that mist just back in on top of you, and I just haven't had the time to stop at a drinker and get me trusty brush out and me bucket and wash the windows. So we're just spreading the last of the paddock now. The system is on the blow, so my father is pumping air down to me to blow all the slurry out of the pipe, so that I can rejig the pipe and go out that way back onto the pass and drag the pipe down the pass without pulling down ever. The slurry in the pipe makes the pipe very heavy. If you try to pull it around anything, it can often, if it's a post, it'll break it. Unless it's something very sturdy, it'll pull it and break it down. And it's also hard to pull it. You're crossing ground pulling a pipe, well, a pipe and full of slurry, you'll do damage to ground. So we blow it out, leaves it easier for moving it, pulling it to where we want it. So when I get here, then I tell my father to come out, because he'll have to watch this pipe as I pull it down the pass, as I won't be able to see it. Slight change. There's a gap further down back onto the roadway, which we'll be able to use, and we won't be interfering with in danger of rubbing the pipe around the drinker. So we'll go across the wire here. One thing as well, don't want to make sure I have no clips being dragged across any wires and stuff like that, otherwise it just starts pulling the wire. But I don't have, so I'm okay. So we'll just fold up our arms so we can do what has to be done. Arms folded. Father Phil is on his way out. He'll ring me then. So this is where the walkie-talkies is handy. He just has to buzz it rather than ring me. But anyways, so there's the gap there we're going through, back onto the pass. We could be in danger of knocking down that post. That is something we could be in danger, because we'll be coming back on it like that, and the pipe will rub around that post, and it doesn't look like a post that'll take a pull. But anyways, up onto the pass, no problems. Lovely big wide pass, easy job for me to get up onto. Now I can't see the pipe behind me. No, I'll put down this camera because it's just kind of in the way at the minute. So now we're just in the next paddock here. In there is soft, usually is, mindful of that. There's the cows. We have to spread that one out there where the cows are at the minute. That's a big silage field, so the cows will be taking off that at some stage between doing this one and the one above. So we have to let half our pressure now, just kind of half on the roadway. Not much I can do about it. We'll let out the dribble bar. It will be mostly air, but it will shoot out some slurry. So we just let out the dribble bar because it might make as much of a mess. If we were to let it out the splash plate, it'd just drown everything in air and slurry. You can just see it there spitting. yeah, just could do it being a little bit further to let off the pressure, but there's nothing I can do about it. So anyways, we wait for the pressure to come off. All the cows are coming down to see what's going on, and we get a pipe down and we'll be going. There's a gap between the hedge up there where we'll be able to cross the wire into the next paddock, so we'll be laying our pipe up to that direction and then laying it back into the field for doing the field. So yeah, that's really it. Straightforward and handy. And I think I might put up the drone when we're in the process of changing field and laying off piping to do the next one. So pipe is out. So we are in just on the kind of where it starts to get wet. You can kind of see the lie of the land there. You know, from doing it before, and ground conditions are pretty good. The wet spot in the last place was good, so there should be no issue spreading this. No, I wouldn't think so. Anyways, that is the rig. Lovely rig it is. Anyways, so we'll put on our pipe. So we disconnect this pipe, pull this back in through there onto this. That's that done. Change over then. So them pipes are for reeling. These pipes are for the macerator. The reason that it's done like this is because the reeler, all of that is a carry pack. It's on an A-frame. You can't really see it, it's very dirty, but that's an A-frame on an A-frame, so all the carry pack comes away and leave you just with your arms. You need to lose weight to do wet ground. But anyways, that's that. We'll ring the boss man, will I? Get him light us up and we're ready to go. So we are finally spreading away. The blowing out of the pipe the last time has shifted whatever was blocking my droppers, so we're fully spreading now. Doing a nice job. And yeah, so now it's just sit back, throw on some YouTube, watch a few videos, 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe a bit longer. I'm at the other end of the field, then it's drag on up into the next one, off with some piping, and yeah, we'll probably put up the drone just before we're ready to drag into the next field, just to get a bit of footage of laying piping and that off from the drone. So that's kind of the plan. Anyways, yeah.
So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? Let you go. it so hard to let you go?
So you're just after seeing the drone forage. I'm moving in, a little bit of spreading as well. So we're in the third paddock. One more to, well, the silage field out there is as big as everything I've done already. So yeah, it'll be fun to do that. So you can see there, where just while I'm turning, I don't have to forward them back or anything. I just one clean sweep turn right round in a circle, and I can go straight back up along the line that I come down and not miss a bit. And it's a great job doing it that way, because I don't leave this big lump of slurry at the end of the field, and I don't have to speed up to do any turn or maneuver. It's everybody's handy. Just a little bit extra goes in on the very inside where you turn, and that's it. But yeah, this back end hasn't been the busiest that we've ever seen, and a lot of that is because the back end has been quite good. It's not hasn't been as, the ground conditions are quite good. What we always find, whether it be spring or autumn, our two busiest times, particularly the spring, where we literally go to dairy farm after dairy farm, emptying out the whole place onto all the paddocks, because there's no grazing going on and it's a clean level start. At this time of the year, you're spreading here and there and yonder, because it's wherever's grazed, and it's to tie in with the farmer's end of rotation cycle to empty out tanks. But one of the things we always find, if the ground conditions are good, or the weather's been pretty reasonable in the spring or the autumn, we don't end up with as much work, because if farmers can travel with their own tankers, that's what they do. And it's only when they can't travel with their own tankers, that's when we're in our element, because we have the big wheels and we can travel on the softest of ground. As I said earlier, the way I put it to farmers, if you can walk it without losing your wellies, I can travel it. It's as simple as that. But the wetter the ground is, the more tricky it is. You have to short pulls and take off the carry pack and try to have pipe in. There's a lot of stuff too travelling on the wet ground. But we're flying away here. But yeah, that's one of the things. So the 6290 we're in at the minute, I suppose, as well. I mentioned earlier that she was giving us a wee bit of trouble. I just want to show you the hours that's on it. Can you see the hours that's on it? 0:00:02. So there is only 0.2 of an hour, which is such a lie. I can't actually remember when that broke. It broke before I ever remember driving this tractor. I think it was the 20,000 hour mark the clock decided to shit itself, and that was it. It's not working anymore. And we reckon, based on the years it's been on this and how many hours we generally spend every year piping, because this tractor, this is all this tractor does. It is never off this umbilical system. It's always on it, because we are always, it's probably the area we specialize in the most is spreading slurry with the pipes. This is our 21st season at Slurry, which is quite a long time. We've been at a long time. A long time. And our busiest times is always as soon as the ban lifts, and when the ban comes into effect. That's always our busiest times. But in the middle of the summer, we always end up with a lot of jobs to do, getting slurry out in silage ground. There are one of the reasons why some people prefer getting the pipes when the slurry is right. The reason they get the pipes is because we put out slurry so much faster than tankers, and in the long run it actually costs less. And if your ground is tricky, if it's a bad summer as well, you don't damage gaps. There's no damaging. That's why Personally, I always prefer the pipes, because it's just a better system, and it actually in the long run it costs you less. If you can get there with a pipe, it's going to cost you less than it would if you start go out with tankers. Simple as put how far more slurry in an hour with the pipes than you will a tanker. There. But anyways, we'll leave it at that for now. We'll pick it up again when we get further on. This is it, slurry dribbling. We'll pick up a few gears because we're just traveling across what we've already spread. Yeah. So now we are finished this field. There's a small bit up there. I didn't have piping to suit, and also the dip down right in next to the bog is quite soft, and sometimes it's better not go. Damn it, forgot to go backwards. Anyways, what we've do now, take off that, roll it up, and then rejig ourselves into the next field. So just go backwards. So this is one of the fun things now. You can see I always open the splash plate when I'm finished, because more slurry will come out of that than it will going up there, so that there's less of that when you open it. It's not too bad. That's normally how you get covered in slurry, is you have an issue somewhere and that just blows it off. Anyways, we didn't blow out the pipe because that's not a 200 meter pipe, it's 150 meters ish. I'll have no issue rolling it up. Spanners. Open sesame. So now, back up to the other end of the field. Roll that up, hook up to that, we'll drag it that way, and we'll be good to start laying off piping again. Go back up the field. Because there's slurry in the pipe now, there's a lot of pull, and it'll really tighten down tight onto the reeler. So just to speed it up a little bit, we'll just ever so slowly creep forward as we roll, just so we're able to roll it that little bit quicker. So I'm laying it off straight away, so it doesn't matter if there's some slurry in it, because I'm putting it straight back down. If I was to do it this way, I wouldn't do it this way if I was to go on the road, if I wasn't putting down that pipe again to fully empty it out, because the extra weight in the pipe with the weight of the slurry that had be left in the pipe puts an awful lot more weight onto the whole outfit, and it can make a difference in the likes of breaking stuff, breaking arms, top links, things like that. So yep, bring her that way into here now, swing it back this way. So now I'm going to put a bit of pressure on that post now. If I was to stay hard up that way, the pull of that pipe could break that post that's going around at the minute, but the less of a pull on that, I should be fine. That post should stay up. You don't really, when you're doing a job for a lad, you don't want to be going and knocking all his fencing down just to try and get a bit of slurry out. That is it. I go any more, I could end up pulling that pipe this way while it tries to take the corner of it. So we start laying off piping now. Now we've quite a big field to do, and I want to try and do it all with the one bit of pipe, and I don't want to have to be rejigging or removing piping. So we lay it to do it all, so I'm just going to lay it straight off down that way into the middle of the field, and we'll start off then by doing the long runs back and forth up there, and then we'll end up with runs that we'll have to go up and down the hill that way. The field is in a bit of an L shape, but just to be able to do it without pulling the pipe into a knot of itself. And we'll start off by spreading the near side, so we'll be spreading the middle of the field going that way. The reason for that is, so speed up again, the majority of my pipe when I'm finished spreading this side of the field is over that end, so then I have an easier job to pull it down and around that way without getting caught in the drinkers which are there. That's why I do that. We put on our pipe and then we are ready to start spreading. So you can see me bower clip is shook on this, so I have one of the droppers or lay flats stuck under it. That's what you do. Keep the pressure on it. That goes on, that gets clamped. That's still very loose. I might just get another one. Don't throw anything away because you never know when it might come in handy. Just take that sail off. Shove this down. We just could do with just changing a couple more of these. Oh, damned. No, that's a lot tighter. So yeah, with them few bower clips left, every year we might buy another 200 meter blue piping, new pipe, and we buy a lot of fittings, and we change our old fittings between what's on the umbilical tractor and then our trail reeler as well. We change the two. But anyways, the plan now is fire up the drone, ring the boss, get spread and fire up the drone, do some of that while it's still daylight, and we'll do another bit of talking. You know yourself. Do I need to explain what I'm going to do in a video? Because I don't really. But anyways, next shot should be the drone.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa,
really it. You won't find it, it'll be dark now. The sun is setting. Starting to get a bit heen cold now as well, and we're spreading away. What have we done in the field? Not a whole lot. Maybe a fifth, a quarter, something like that. Not a whole lot. So yeah, it's gonna be dark by the time we finish. So yeah. So them videos, not too exciting. No frills, no thrills, but I suppose it's giving you a lot of information about how the job works. That's about all I can do. I don't know. Yeah, so the ban takes place in Ireland. It starts the 15th of October. To my understanding, that's for all the counties in Ireland, to the 15th of January. But in January, there's a phase reopen, so depending on what zone you're in. So if you're in zone A, which is down south, I think it opens the 10th. I could be wrong on this. I know it opens earlier. If you want to correct me in the comments down below. Zone B opens the 12th, and we generally start in zone B in Offaly on the 12th, so we can get away early. We get her 2 or 3 days ahead of ourselves down there, and then start working our way back up. Then we're in zone C, which is the 15th, which encompasses pretty much all the Midlands, the middle of the country. And then I think it's zone C2 or D, I'm not sure, and that's you going in Cavan, Monaghan, Donegal. To be perfectly, I think if it's not the 20th of January, it's the 1st of February, and I think the Northern Ireland is the 1st of February as well. I could be wrong on that. As I said, let me know in the description down below if I got any of these information wrong. And to my understanding, in the rest of the UK, as in Scotland, England and Wales, there is no ban. I don't know if any from the UK have a slurry ban. Let me know in the description down below. But to my understanding, there's no ban in the UK, and I think then on the continental Europe, so like France, Germany, all that, I'm pretty sure there's a ban on slurry in continental Europe as well. If you're from the as I said before, hit me in the comments down below. We might all learn something. And yeah, so what's the purpose of the ban? The whole idea behind the slurry ban is that it's to prevent, well, it's to stop farmers from spreading slurry when it is typically wetter, more rain, more likelihood of slurry being washed away into rivers, drains and causing pollution. Is that the right way to do it? Probably not, because when you look at it, you can't farm by calendar. The weather, you can't trust the weather. We can't trust that we're going to make hay in June and July. You can't trust these kind of things, as you can't trust that the winter is going to be wet. We have often seen here that the weeks leading up to the slurry ban are wet, and the slurry been put out in what you could say less than favourable conditions. And then you'll see that the same year that you have a bad back end and you're putting slurry out in less than favourable conditions, you'll see by the end of October, November, December, you'll have a dry winter, and you could go out, spread slurry, and you'd have absolutely no fear of anything happening. And the same then comes in the spring when it opens up. You can nearly be guaranteed that you'll have a nice dry spell leading up till the opening of the ban. And now as soon as the ban opens, it starts to piss rain and slurry starts to go out in less than favourable conditions. That's one of the things with calendar farming. It's not perfect. By no means is the ban in any way, shape, form or perfect. One of the things, the only upside to the ban in my view is that it's 3 months off for us, roughly speaking. It's 3 months where there's literally no contracted work going on, and we have 3 months to ourselves to rest, catch up on ourselves and get ready then for the next season of work that comes in. That is the only benefit that I see to it, because I know pre-ban, before it come in, that the slurry just went on all through the winter, that my father was flat to the mat piping slurry all through the winter for piggeries, dairy farmers and just they're flat out. But with the ban, it gives us a break. That is literally the only upside to it, but it's not perfect. It does cause, I would nearly go as far to say that the slurry ban causes more pollution than it actually saves, because it does put pressure on farmers, if their tanks aren't emptied, to put slurry out in less than favourable conditions, to avoid putting out slurry when you're not supposed to, even though it might be better conditions, but the fear of getting caught and ending up with fines, cross compliance, and all that good joyful stuff that comes with putting slurry out of season. So yeah, I would go as far to say that it probably does cause more pollution than it actually solves. But then that's always the thing, bureaucrats, politicians, people who just do not know what actually goes on the ground, what actually happens, and just coming up with it off the top of their heads thinking they're great lads. But look, you can rant all day long about politicians and all the bullshittery that they do come up with and red tape and whatnot that makes absolutely no sense to the people on the ground that actually have to put up with it when they have no clue about what they're talking about. But sure, look, that you could rant on about that for hours. Anyways, that's the joys of it. That's the joys of this time of the year. That's why the back end before the ban is so busy, and that's why as soon as the season opens in the spring, that's why we're so busy, because the closed period bottlenecks the work to a couple of weeks before and then nearly 3 months after it opens. 2 months definitely, flat to the mat, pipe and slurry. So we just changed directions, we've all that way done. We're now going up and down, so there's a bit of a hill and it's just interesting. And I just never thought of it, we have about 1400 meters of piping down. So yeah, the slurry's coming 1400 meters in that direction, but it has to go up that way and around and down that way and then across and back. So yeah, there's 1400 meters of piping. I just thought it's now pitch black, the field is spread, small bit left in the tank, so just go over the middle of it again until the tank runs out, blow out, and that's us finished. Roll up the pipes tomorrow morning and move on to the next job. But as you can see, I ain't got no lights behind me, so yeah, that's fun. And because all the power to my switches here is gone, because we had to sort out our issues down below with the high-low box solenoid and bringing power to it, we had to transfer cables. But yeah, so we are finally on the home run. You can't see it, but I can hear it. The slurry is speeding up there, we are on the blow, the air is coming to us, and the slurry is going out of pipes. So that is us finished. So yeah, just waiting for it to come, stretch the pipe back. That's it there now, the air. I don't need to see it, I can hear it. So stretch it right back up to the very other end of the field, hook everything off, and that's it for today's video. That is it for today's job, done and dusted. Roll up tomorrow and be on to the next one and continue to beat this ban and get all this slurry out for everybody. Can you see me? Probably not. If I turn on that light, maybe you can see me now, or maybe you're blinded, I don't know. But anyways, that is it for today's video. A no frills, no trills kind of video. I've said that many times. But anyways, look, I hope you enjoyed it all the same. If you have any questions, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Check out the description for all that other stuff, PayPal links, Amazon store, and just all that other stuff that gets put in there. That is it from me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Mind yourselves and good luck.